Well, every time we finish doing one of these, I go, "Oh, I should really find a way to make it a little more fun and lighten things up." And I don't see that happening today. To quote a very, very wonderful man, I'm in quite a mood, so we're gonna do the best that we can to get through it.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's been a week.
It's been rough.
Um, I do want to make sure we do a shout out to, Matthew Carano and his wife, because they have really stepped up and have agreed to do an empowering female song for us, and have her sing it so that it's, more acceptable for the show. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Yes.
they were really
Thank you,
good about
Matt.
doing that.
Thank you, Matt, and his wife.
Absolutely. So before we even get into anything, of course, nothing is even remotely as important as saying just we got news this week. It was like getting kicked in the stomach almost, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, we're just trying to get through it. So I wanted to start to go around the room. Did anyone listen to Kirk when he was on WEEI, Tara?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
did. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
I think I'm the only one that didn't start listening until he started his own Kirk Minihane podcast.
No.
With Barstool.
I've heard some of the EEI stuff, but not very much of it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I remember when he was hospitalized the first time, and even I think we started listening when it was Kirk and Callahan, like after
Right.
John left, or
Yep.
maybe I started listening briefly after that. So I've heard a lot of that stuff. I remember the day it happened, I was looking at an old tweet and I was like, I hope you're okay, like all that stuff. And it just, I don't know, it just really, it was a tough day for me. And at that time, it's not like I've known him as well as not as well as I do now, but I guess on that personal level, since we've all interacted with him. But even then, it was still kind of a hard thing to see and witness. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So today is March 4th, and I remember this date very well because it's actually my parents' wedding anniversary. But also last year, that was the date that Kirk had put in his bio as when he was hoping to do his own show with Entercom. Now, if you think about that, March 4th, he went to McLean in August of 2018. And
mhm.
that's how long they put him through the ringer.
Yeah,
And that is how long we went every single day going, what is happening? Why don't we know anything? Someone tell us something. And that's how long it took. And oh, and by the way, March 4th came and went. The show didn't start until May.
yeah.
So how terribly handled it was, it's really bringing me back because we're on what, day 4 here, and who cares about, I don't want to say who cares about the show, but really it's not even remotely important compared to Kirk's mental state. But
Mhm.
I wanted to put that into perspective for people who didn't listen at the time, what that was like. It was very, very nasty of Entercom, and I'll never forgive it. Absolutely not.
I mean, especially after, that tweet that they sent out about how mental health's a priority. I was just like, okay, you're funny. You know what I mean? It's just like seeing him like holding on this string of like, okay, what's going on here? What's this? Like, of course that's going to do something to you mentally. And just like, I mean, if it was anybody. So it's just it's frustrating to kind of think back like, oh shit, like all this happened and how prolonged it was. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
very.
Brandy, did you have any thoughts on that?
I didn't listen back when, the WEEI days, but of course, listening now, I knew about it because he's very open about it. So definitely when that post went out, it was, even though I didn't know what had happened previously, it was still something that was easy to be disgusted by, frankly, because in reality, if you knew the past at all, you knew that they really don't care. So
Right. That's the difference, I think, with Barstool and
Mhm.
Entercom. Hopefully, you never know, but hopefully it's going to be better.
Erica Nardini, from what I've seen anyway, seems like she is backing him 100%. So it's good to see that. And, you know, of course, we'd like to believe that that's not all for show and that that's going to stand no matter how long he's out. So, I mean, I guess until she shows differently, we've got to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are different. And
Absolutely.
it's exactly what he deserves too. I mean, look at what he's created.
Everybody deserves it.
I mean,
Right.
So...
I mean, I even was skeptical too. Like after Portnoy and Erica tweeted, I was kind of like, is this just, you know, a public thing, or, you know, are they really like reaching out to him or are supportive just because of his past? And I feel like a lot of people are kind of pandering to mental health just because it's becoming more prevalent, or it always was, but you know what I mean? I think, is it fake? Is it just because they're trying to fill a quota, kind of like Entercom's doing right now? So I was skeptical, but of course we don't know what goes on. You know, we only see what we see. So I think we just have to give them the benefit of the doubt. And it really seems like they are different and they're more up to speed with how important this really is. So, you know, it's kind of like we just have to see what happens and just trust it for right now.
Yeah, and there's such a huge difference because we've got Mike, you know, is getting on Instagram, is getting on Twitter saying, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
The last time this happened, we had Jerry Callahan basically saying every single day, oh, well, we don't know. Or basically they were being silenced. Not a single person at that place was allowed to talk about it, which is outrageous. But I told you guys I'm in a mood. I'm wound right up. I'm sorry. So, you know, we've got Mike. I mean, he obviously can't tell us much. It's so early, but they're, you know, they understand that we care about this and we, you know, will do anything that we can. So sometimes I try to compare Barstool to like how a regular company would be run, but I don't think you can't really compare it because they're public, you know, like I think they're doing a good job and good for them. And like, you know, we've all kind of agreed here. Let's hope that it continues that way. Absolutely.
I think it's interesting that, was it last week that Entercom put that tweet out about mental health awareness? And then
Yes.
Yeah, it was recently.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this.
Yeah, it's very, very ugly and
day late and a dollar short, I guess.
Yeah.
It definitely riles you up and gets you upset, but I know myself, you know, I worry about him on a day-to-day basis. You know, like Tara said, we don't really know him personally. We don't speak to him one-on-one day-to-day, but it's still, you know, you worry about him. And at the same time, you almost feel lost because you're not hearing from him. You don't know what's going on. You don't feel like you can help. You know, there's nothing you can do. And so I mean, it's definitely been tough.
And to
2
go
or 3
off
hours of everybody's day.
Right.
Yeah.
And to go off of that, kind of listening back to the audio, and you know, he was saying he was going through a lot the past month. Even though I don't know him on a personal level, I was like, oh, I should have, you know, reached out, or I should, like, you kind of think in that moment, oh, why didn't I pick up on that? Why didn't I think? And then why didn't I message him or something? Even though,
that's kind of common for survivor guilt too. I mean,
right.
It's common in any relationship where there's a depression.
And even Mike said it too on Mike and the Minifans. He was saying, like, you know, even though they're not, I guess, on that same level too, he's like, would Kirk even want to talk to me about it, or kind of would he want to, you know, be the person to confide in? But it's kind of like we're in this little community and family essentially. So in the way he interacts with all of us, you kind of feel like you do have that ability to reach out to him if, you know, necessary.
Well,
I think that him putting it out there publicly for all of us kind of shows how much we mean to him anyway, and how he is comfortable with us. Because that's something that essentially he didn't have to share with us the way that he did, and could have found out about it a different way. So,
and he's done it since day one too. I've been going back listening to, you know, the very first few episodes, and even right then and there, you know, he's using, you know, his own coping mechanisms with his parents, and just, you know, right off the bat kind of being very public about it. And even then, listening back, I'm like, you know, there's still a lot of, you know, I guess trauma from that, you know, it's still there. And I guess now I feel like I'm more conscious of it. And I think going forward, whatever the case may be, I'm probably going to listen more carefully about it, like what he's saying, and maybe in the future kind of be that person to reach out, even though he may not respond or whatever the case may be. But
Well, and I think there is some truth to when you listen to someone every single day, you kind of get to know them, in that you can tell when things are going good and things are not going so well. There's just different, you know, there's a different tone to it. And, you know, is it one certain thing that's changing somebody's mood, or is it just part of the way, you know, the personality functions? It will be interesting to see how the Minifan community handles this downtime, because sometimes when we get bored, trouble can arise. I know where I'm taking out all of my aggression and then some, and that is on one person on Twitter, and I will continue to do this every single day, because Julie, is it DiCaro or DiCarlo?
I think it's DiCaro.
Okay, I want to make sure that I have her name right, so thank you.
It is, yes.
I am so appalled by what she has had to say, and I mean, shame on her. The only thing that is even allowing me to sleep at night over what she has said is what a miserable human being she must be. That woman, I guarantee you, has not actually laughed in 10 years. There's zero chance. Zero.
Has she even smiled? I mean,
no.
It's miserable. I mean, I saw what she put on, like, the minute I saw her very first tweet after, you know, Kirk's, I was completely disgusted. I didn't even have words to describe how I felt towards her. And
Lauren had words. Those are good words.
I'm glad that she did it. She spoke out, because I
have to say I am happy too to see that, you know, last night, I don't know if anybody else follows Turtle Boy, but he did, you know, a YouTube live, and he wrote a blog about it, and it was great. I think it was a great way for him to be able to support Kirk while calling her out publicly, because that's exactly what she deserved, and then some. I mean, she deserves to continue to be called out publicly.
Yeah. And
Dee Dee, did you have? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh no, I was just going to say really quickly that, you know, after I saw it, I was telling Brandy this, I was trying to see, like, should I say something about it? Should I not? But I didn't want to quote tweet it and say something inaccurate, or, you know, I had the words in my head, but I didn't want to actually, like, I didn't want to say anything incorrectly or, you know, inaccurately. So I'm glad that you, Lauren, kind of put it out there, and I'm just kind of like retweeting everyone who's publicly saying something, so that way I don't say something that I can be attacked for, because, you know, God knows people love Twitter drama. But anyway,
kidding.
Anyways, Dee Dee, go on.
I'm just trying to be better since my little ban. So
you were in Twitter jail.
Yeah.
Better Twitter user.
You know, I think in the parody account world, and I'm not a parody account, my name is on my Twitter, my face, so I really am very careful about what I say, and I always think, like, if someone screenshots anything that I say, whether in or out of context, will I be able to stand by my words? And, you know, that's something that I just try to follow as a rule of thumb. I hope that people are smart when they're dealing with someone like this woman, because she will be so happy to point out when someone goes low on her. I guarantee you.
But not for like a couple months, when she realizes it.
Right. Right. Exactly.
It'll take her long enough to, you know, comprehend what's being said and, you know, look the words up in the dictionary or whatever she has to do. But
I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. And then the one tweet that was like, I suffer from mental illness too. Like, okay, that, and like Lauren said, that doesn't.
It was a prank call. You know.
Well, and that's the thing is to see how butthurt she got over a prank call shows you her immaturity level. And then the way that she tried to take Kirk through the ringer after what he did shows you even more her immaturity level.
She probably gets butthurt over everything, honestly.
Yeah, it's bad. And Turtle Boy said it last night on his live show, you know, she had put out there, like Tara said, her own mental issues. And it's like, well, then take the time off from work because that's what Kirk's doing.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
badmouth him for what he's doing or because you're mad about a prank call. If you suffer from the same thing, then be the adult like he is. Take the time and get the help you need.
Exactly. Own up to it instead of
like, does she? Yeah. Who is she?
Talk like
I don't even know.
Okay, because I have no
radio
idea.
She had famously done a segment with a few other women, and their whole thing is they had men read out loud the mean tweets that were written about them. Like, look at how mean people are to women, right? Because go down, Kirk's Twitter page. There's nothing mean on there. No one ever says anything bad. She just is so happy to wag her finger because she can't face her own insecurities and she's a miserable human being. I say human being because I would say that about anyone, man, woman, I don't care. She's terrible. She is terrible. And I would happily say any of that to her face. Everything that I tweeted at her, I stand by, and I hope she read every word of it. I hope someday she wakes up and realizes that if Kirk says he doesn't like something she said on her show, she should say she doesn't like something on his show, not say, oh, your mental illness is deserved, because that's gross. It's gross.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's just very, immature. And it's just like, why are you even, I don't know. Like, it just frustrates me because she's an adult, or so we think. But I just don't get it, especially someone who says that she has mental health issues. It's like, one, take responsibility of your own actions and your own, whatever the case may be, but don't project it on other people. Just don't do that. You know what I mean? And that goes for anybody. You can't go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I was shocked at the number of people I saw, like, just saying, why don't you just do it? Or that was what really got me. I got really upset with that.
Yeah,
like, just do it already, or he's just on vacation, or it's just attention.
Oh, that blew my mind as well.
That's where I lost my mind.
That people had the nerve to say those sort of things.
Yeah, right? I mean, who does that?
A lot of people, believe it or not. A lot of the people are like celebrities and role models that I have who have either overdosed or who have been, hospitalized. Their whole like comment replies are like, kill yourself, that, this, that. Yeah. Like, it's so many, and this fan base itself takes no shit. So it's like, of course you're going to have people fighting back, but I see it everywhere. And it's, that's why social media is the worst sometimes, but it's like, why would you tell someone to go ahead and do that act? Like, what's going on in your life that you feel the need to do that? You know what I mean? It's like, it clearly shows that they have their own issues that they need to, not saying that they can't use that as an excuse, but I'm saying it shows how much they are probably suffering too. And it's just really like this whole back and forth, and it's just.
And going back to Julie, the fact that she, had quote tweeted that and said it was deserved. If she were ever to grow up and decide that she wanted to take the time off from work for her own mental illnesses that she claims to have, Kirk would never, ever do anything like that to her, ever.
No.
So the fact that she did that is even more disgusting because Kirk is such a good human being and he would never say the things that are being said to him right now.
Yeah, because he's going through it. So why would he ever wish that upon somebody else?
Not only that, but 90% of the people going through it would never have the balls that Kirk has, plain and simple, to publicly put it out there that they can acknowledge they have an issue and they need to get help from themselves.
Yeah.
Nobody else would do that. And if they would, there's very few. So instead of bashing him when he's at his lowest. How about talking him up for being, courageous essentially and doing things that a lot of other people would never do?
We need more people like that. And that's why he's a great advocate and a good example of, what more people out there should do, because, we want to eliminate the stigma and also bring up awareness that it's okay to get help, especially him being a male too. A lot of males feel ashamed that they can't talk about, because they have to be tough and they have to have, that stereotype of, they can't have feelings and blah, blah, blah. So the fact that he's that person who, other males, other females could actually come out and say, like, I need help, I need, I'm struggling. It's, that's what more of what we need.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I think some of the vile comments do come with the vulnerability that comes with sharing a story like this. And it's unacceptable. And, of course, we'll continue to support him, and hopefully we get some kind of an update soon that things are going better.
Right?
Monday, apparently.
I think it's Monday.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So
I know. I was like, oh, bless the podcast, Jesus Lord.
No kidding. So it seems like we've been keeping busy tweeting at her, which, like I said, I'm going to continue to do every day because I'm very wound up about it. And then we've got bracket drama because oh my goodness, it's just going to get uglier. I hate to tell you guys, we're all in it, correct?
We are. Can't anybody just have?
I think I'm out now. I think Chris won. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I was surprised. I even said I texted my fiance. Yeah. I was like, I'm in this. Why am I in this? And I was like, I'm irrelevant. And he's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, see, like, I just think it's cool, like, whatever. But I don't. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be butthurt over it. You know what I mean?
No, it's a game.
Right.
It's like, no, you have fun. You have fun. You have fun.
My favorite thing is like the gifts, like the gifts that are being made in the videos. Like, I think I've never been a gift before, and I'm like, that's the most exciting thing for me, rather than being in a contest. You know,
I know.
I saw those videos, and I'm like, oh man,
the Game of Thrones thing is hilarious.
I really like the Min Intel.
Yeah, and
I like
working with them too to do the NIT bracket and stuff, because a lot of people thought that would be fun. So we're hoping to have that out next week. And so it's not like, everybody's getting involved, and I wish more people would embrace it and have fun. And
some people are getting more involved.
Yeah.
So what
it's getting vicious in some places.
Oh, I know it.
So what exactly? So are people just getting mad that they're not in? I think some people are not.
Well, maybe.
I don't know. Catch me up to speed.
I think it's playful outrage at this point. That's how I'm reading into it. So it's fun, and some people put a lot of work in being part of this community, and they get credit. I, for one, like, some people, like, governed by fear. Some of the newer people might be like, well, why is he in a one? That guy deserves his one seed. Trust me. It's, from back in the day, when what I was referring to earlier, when we went months of battling with Entercom, he's right up there. So I think they did a very good job putting some of the vets up in the top seeds, even though these guys, they're more in Discord. I don't do a lot of Discord.
I have the app and I don't know what to do. So
I've been in and out. They're always very nice when I go in. I just chat for a few minutes. And
see, I don't usually chat. I do have the app and I poke in and kind of look at it a little bit, but I don't actually, get involved, because I prefer the Twitter thing.
Yeah,
it's super fast moving, so it's
just
really
like
hard to
Reddit
keep up.
too, like the Reddit feed. My fiance is on that, but I'm not really, like, the AMAs or whatever stuff like that. I'm not really into, but I'm aware of it at least. But the Twitter is just more like easier for me.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to give those guys some credit for doing the bracket. That's a lot of work, and no matter what they did, someone was gonna be mad. So they're dealing with that, and I think they seeded very well. So
Mhm.
it's cool. It's fun. It will keep us busy, and I think that's what we need right now.
Yeah, that's definitely what we need, and they gotta definitely have props because that's a lot of time and effort and work that goes into that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, and they're even making updated videos for us and everything just
oh
to
yeah,
kind
and,
of, so
putting them out there for voting, and they're doing a lot, and I think it's great. Like
Yeah.
Lauren said, it's definitely what we need to keep us busy right now.
yeah,
Yes.
positive energy and putting, time, like I said, time and energy into like these good things. And I think I'm not sure if Kirk's really, checking in or anything, but I hope when he gets back, he sees like how much that, we miss him, support him, and that we're just, sticking together to kind of, be there for him, especially when he gets
Well,
back too.
I will say something you've heard him say before. Unfortunately, when both of his parents passed, and I believe
Yeah.
the last time he was in hospitalization, he remembers who reaches out and he remembers who has something nice to say, and he will definitely remember who had something negative to say. So, I know I'm keeping tabs of all of it as much as I can. So, and I'm sure that he will too, as would anyone. I think that's very
Yeah.
normal, human reaction. So
Mhm.
I
And
don't know. Oh, go ahead,
Oh,
Tara.
no, I was just gonna say, going back to, him getting help, it's just all of this is part of the process. And, and whether it happens again or not, like we're always going to be there for him and always, support him in any way that we can, because it's not something that's going to go away. It's just, something that
It's always there.
has its good days and bad days. And, at the end of the day, we'll be there for him. And, it's so great that he's, reaching out and kind of getting that support that he needs to do so. So, yes.
Absolutely.
Just a passionate subject for me. So
No,
Yeah.
of course, of course.
there's so
So
many
the
of
only other thing we have going on right now, I believe, is our weight loss challenge, which, as I tweeted out, mine went to shit this week because I found myself with a big bowl of cookie dough watching Mike and the Minifans the other night. So I can
Cool.
admit it. It's fine. I'll get back on. I'll get back
with
on
you.
track.
My Girl Scout cookie order came in this week, so I'm with
Oh
you.
But
no.
it's worth it. It's worth it. You know what I mean? I think you're allowed to have, you have
Yeah.
to indulge in,
I just keep reminding myself portion size.
Right,
Right.
exactly. Everything in moderation.
I mean,
I'm
you
down
guys
10
are
pounds.
doing it. I'm not even a part of the challenge. However, I will sometimes tweet healthy recipes, so I'll just be a support for you all.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, before all the mayhem happened, we were talking about doing a 5K. Brandy, you signed up, correct?
Me
I
and
did too.
me and my fiance
Yay.
did too, so we'll see you there.
Yay.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. I hope we can get a big group together. I'll retweet it again in case people missed it
Yeah, I missed that.
before.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, we're doing is it the Shipyard 5K?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's on
Old
June.
Port. Yeah, it's the shipyard in Old Port.
Yeah, I forgot
In
what day
Portland.
it
It's
is.
in Portland.
Yep,
Yeah,
June 6th, I believe.
Yeah,
yes, I think you are correct.
And we're doing it as a group. So if it's walking the whole thing, we're all going to walk together. Hopefully everyone can come in their,
Are we
KMS
walking?
gear.
Is it a
Sure,
walk?
walk, jog, whatever we want to do.
Yeah, I can't run, but
Yep.
I can't. My knees are
I'm just gonna
shot.
say that now.
Guys, my
50,
kids
come
tell me I jog. It's fine. They're like, Mom, that's not running, that's jogging. Fine, guys. Thanks.
I can do a fast walk. I'll do a fast walk.
There you go. We will
Sprinting.
power walk that 5K. I think it's a great goal. It's right near the end
Yeah.
of the weight loss challenge.
Yeah.
So hopefully a lot of people will join us. That's a big race too. They also have a half
Yeah.
marathon, so there's gonna be a
I
lot
saw
of people
that.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll be good for all of us to get together too, and
Yeah,
you
It'll
know,
be nice.
touch base
Yeah.
and everything. Since Madawaska, it's really cool that we can stay in touch and stuff. So
No, and it's true. We do. We like being around each other. I mean, obviously, Kirk shows up and we all become,
animals.
sycophants. But even without that, we do have a good time together because we all have one thing in common that we enjoy. That's for sure.
We're the only ones that understand each other.
So did you guys forget that it's vibrator week?
Judy, I love you.
It's a razor. It's a razor. Lauren's gonna kick me.
At least she's still wearing
It's just a razor.
She kept her bra on. That's all we can ask.
Yes. Oh my.
Oh gosh. Well, I got nothing to follow that one up. So I think
Your idea.
we're gonna go out on that note. So thanks, girls.
All right.
Yeah,
See you.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.